Guys, this is part 3 of Azure tutorial. In this video, we will learn what are Azure Geographies, what are Azure Regions, and what are Azure Availability Zones. So, in our previous videos, we have learned an introduction to Microsoft Azure, Azure Data Centers. So, if you haven't watched those videos, I strongly recommend you to do so. The link is in the description below. So, what are Azure geographies? Azure geographies are simply the areas of the world that contains at least one Azure region, like for example, India, Canada, Australia, etc. So, why are Azure geographies important? Azure geographies are important because some data are very confidential and it is not permitted to leave the country. So, legally, organizations are required to store such data in the same country. Azure ensures that if you select a particular country as a region, your data is not stored outside the country. Azure geographies are important because it ensures that your data is stored within the geography you have selected. Your data will not be accessed beyond that geography except for some regions. And basically, we can pair an Azure region with another Azure region. So some of the Azure geographies are India, Asia Pacific, Greece, Norway, etc. For some others like United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Africa, Australia, Europe, many are there. In all 58. So here I have mentioned 28 and more 30 Azure geographies. So Azure regions are a set of data centers which are connected through a particular network. Until now there are about 58 Azure regions worldwide. So, what is finally an Azure Availability Zone? Well, Azure Availability Zone is a rack of server or more rack of servers with independent power, cooling, and networking. The advantage is that if one of that Azure Availability Zone has gone down for some reason, there are still more Azure Availability Zone available for us. So which means with Azure Availability Zone, Azure guarantees 99.9% uptime SLA. SLA by the way means Service Level Agreement. So now finally, what's an fault domain and what's an update domain? Well, fault domain and update domains are parts of Azure Availability Zones. Well, fault domain are a logical representation of the physical rack in which a host computer is installed. By default, Azure assigns two fault domains to an availability set. So, what are now Azure Update Domains? Azure Update Domain is a logical group of underlying hardware that can undergo maintenance or rebooted at the same time. As you create VMs within an availability set, the Azure platforms automatically distributes your VMs across these update domains. We will discuss what is the difference between Azure Availability Zone and what are Azure Availability Sets in our upcoming videos. That's it in this video. Thank you for listening.